It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Buccaneers and the Eagles, and it comes your way next.
It's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. Just a short time ago, these Philly fans in full roar as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. Pyrotechnics ablaze. They're set to go as their Eagles will match up with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And CD, you look at the Bucs in this matchup, and this is going to be a heck of a chess match. This offense against a defense that will take no prisoners out there.
It's going to be a big-time battle, and I think that both of these teams have that mindset of, we're going to do what we do and make the other guys react to us. And we've definitely got a couple of headstrong coordinators who won't back down from a challenge. So this will be a battle of wits as much as it'll be a battle of brawn.
Here's the punter, Bradley Pinion, on to get us started. And off we go from Lincoln Financial Field. This one fielded at the 5. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. For the first time, we get our look here at the Eagles offense and Jalen Hurts, the second-year quarterback out of Oklahoma.
Tremendous production in college at 2 different universities, and this is a guy who was a finalist for the Heisman Trophy. Still much more of a runner than a thrower, but has plenty of arm and is capable of making the big throws downfield. And don't underestimate his ability to think the game. Remember, he's the son of a coach.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Oh, and Hurts is going to be hit and taken down to the ground. Shaquille Barrett. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him. How about the defense there trying to set the tone on the very first play of the game?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a glow here tonight because they brought the heat right out of the gate. What a good job establishing a tone for this one.
Well behind the sticks here with a 2nd and 18. Another try after the first down sack. Hurts dancing to his left. And he'll slide to a halt here, still a little shy of the first down marker. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation.
Now how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
He'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. They'll get 8, but they're going to have to punt here on the opening drive because that's not enough.
And they had an extra defensive back on the field on that play, and the coverage was excellent. He tried to pull it down and run for it, but they rallied to him and kept him short of a first down.
Here's the Eagles' new punter for 2021, Aaron Sipos, to punt it away. He'll kick it away after a 3-and-out on the opening drive of the game. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. We get a peek at Tom Brady as he brings out this Tampa Bay offense. And Tom Brady in his 22nd season overall and his second in Tampa Bay.
Well, we've all seen what Tom Brady can do on a football field for a couple of decades now. But how about his most impressive accomplishment? Moving to a different franchise and taking them to a Super Bowl title as well. Not many players can continually stiff-arm Father Time the way that he has.
Brady and the Bucs now with a 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. Now Brady. And that's incomplete.
Well, he left no doubt about that one because even though he hasn't left the pocket, he's got a receiver in the area, so it's not grounding, even though there was no way that ball was going to be caught.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Brady. It's caught by Mike Evans. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Brady to throw on 3rd and 1. There's Evans again, complete. And he is going to have the Buccaneers 1st down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a 1st down.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Brady's throw there complete. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down. Executed it to perfection. 2 1st downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Now a carry for Bernard. Pushes past him. And now running right through him. And across the midfield stripe into Eagle territory. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Fakes the give to Fournette. Now Brady. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Well, no takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
The sack backs him up, 3rd and long. Tough challenge for Brady and the Bucs. Here's Brady to throw. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
And that's exactly what defenses talk about. You've got to find ways to get off the field when you can, especially on 3rd down. And 3rd down defense going to be vital in this game. Able to knock that one away and force a 4th down.
So on now is the Clemson man, Bradley Pinion, to punt this one away. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. So back onto the field here come the Eagles for their 2nd drive. And a 3 and out on that 1st drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
On first down, Hurts. That's caught by the big tight end, Dallas Goedert. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
Second down at 5. They will run for the first time with Miles Sanders. They got 5 through the air last play, now 5 on the ground. First and 10.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
So first and 10 now from the 30. Hurts. Now he steps away. And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end. I guess no need to force it when you can do that instead. First down, 18-yard gain.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
They'll throw on first down with Hurts. He'll find the Heisman Trophy winner, Devontae Smith.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
Options galore here, second and a few inches. Now Hurts on the option right. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. Only a yard there on the keeper, but that's all he needed. First down. So that was all you're looking for on a play like that. Get the first down and keep the drive moving.
Yeah, it just looked to me like he just said to himself, I've got this. I'll take it. I'll pick it up, and let's keep moving. Get the first down, get a new set, and let's start over.
On first down, it's Sanders. Sanders shaking and baking. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive they went 3 and out.
First and 10, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. A jumbo package look. Now Sanders. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. It was Jason Pierre-Paul who was able to get him down.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Throwing is Hurts. Eluding the pressure right. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. A good decision in the end. The pull and run gets him 9 yards and a first.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
first and goal from the 6. They'll run with Sanders. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Miles Sanders, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Eagles have taken the early lead. A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know that sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
Elliott good on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. It'll be a touchback. The ball brought out to the 25 as Mickens will not return it. Tampa Bay, they're getting ready to set up shop here for their second drive and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Brady going to bring the Bucs up with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Now Brady. This is caught by Antonio Brown. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
Oh, that was a nice job there. Quarterback and receiver reading the pressure that was brought. They both knew it was going to open up the middle of the field. Nice little shake and bake at the line of scrimmage, got right into his route, and the quarterback hit him in stride, and he was able to run free after the catch.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Here's Brady. Dumps it off to Fournette. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
A first carry for Leonard Fournette. He'll get 3 up to midfield. From midfield, here's Brady. Got him in, it's Brown. And he is going to have a Bucs 1st down, I do believe. Yes, he's got it by about a yard there on 3rd and 3. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. So he turned to a trusted, familiar face in that 3rd down situation. It paid off.
Yeah, you go to your veteran receiver in that spot, so you can't underestimate him when he's on the field. Defensively, make sure you know where he is because he understands how to get open in key situations.
Fournette, a 1st down carry. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
Someone's looking fresh, and this O-line is definitely licking their chops. Everyone likes to run block. If you're an offensive lineman, nice early burst, nice gain too.
2nd and 2. Now Fournette. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
On 1st and 10, here's Brady. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
I've got to make sure that I don't take Tom Brady's greatness for granted, that we make it routine. How about that throw right there?
Yeah.
Another great completion.
And you know one area where he honed his throwing? He was a catcher in high school. He was actually drafted by the Expos in 1995 in the 18th round.
Wow, that would have been something to see him behind the dish.
Think he gunned down a few guys?
Gunned down a few guys trying to steal second. That would have been fun to watch.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now, and it's Buccaneer football. As they come up now, 2nd and goal. Here's a give to Fournette. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Leonard Fournette, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Buccaneers are an extra point away from tying up this football game. So it was the passing game that got him down here, but closer to the goal line, it's the running game that gets him home.
Certainly appears that they lulled the defense into thinking that the passing game was going to be it the entire drive. Nice change up there going to the running game to get them over the goal line.
Extra point put through by Succop, and we are tied here in the second quarter. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And the man who finished it off with a run into the end zone, Leonard Fournette. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense get the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Here's Hurts to throw. Pass incomplete. He was looking for Miles Sanders out of the backfield. That'll bring up 2nd down.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. They go play action with Hurts. He finds his tight end, Goddard. That's complete. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
Well, every now and then I can speak from experience because I do know, as a defender, it is awfully hard to stay with your man on these crossing routes because even if you don't get picked, there's a danger of being picked either by one of their receivers or maybe by your own defender. And on that play, that worked quite well.
On 1st and 10, it's Hurts. He'll get this complete to Jalen Reagor. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last two plays. So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 43. Hurts sets up to throw it. He rifles one that's intercepted. It's Devin White, the linebacker. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. Before we came up to the booth, last thing he said as we were walking off the field, want to play mistake-free football. Well, that just went out the window there with a pick.
And do you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words. Every time we hear that, things tend to fall apart a little bit, and that's what we saw there. Didn't get enough on that throw, and it turned into an interception.
Back now comes Tampa Bay. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there and handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
And Brady and the Buccaneers here, 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. So after the INT, it's Brady looking for Gronkowski, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Alex Singleton. And this one will be brought back to the 22. Come on now!
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
The Eagles offense now, they head back on the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Let's go now. Cowboy 80. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And it's incomplete. He was looking for Miles Sanders out of the backfield, but it's going to be 2nd down.
I think we can all understand what they're thinking right now. They take over the ball in field goal range after the turnover, so they've got that in their hip pocket. But they've got to go for the end zone and turn this into a bigger points. Their thinking is a touchdown is really what they should get from starting here. Getting 3 points at the end of this drive, that would feel disappointing.
And once again, not much running room, if any at all. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. Well, we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that.
And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. JPP cruising in for the sack that time.
And it didn't take long for the Philadelphia fans to close their eyes and remember 2020 when this unit gave up 65 sacks, the most in the NFL. And that was 15 more than a couple of teams tied for 2nd place in the league. They vowed for a restart in 2021. Hasn't quite gelled just yet.
The kick by Elliott is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because you know after the sack there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. The return is Mickens. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
The Bucs ready to take over once again.
And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens.
Brady and the Bucs now with a 1st and 10
at their own 24. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw.
And that's complete. It's Chris Godwin.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Here's 2nd and a yard.
On the run, it's Fournette. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
The Bucs on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation.
Here's Bernard. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. 4 yards on the pickup, good enough to extend the drive.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? That looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. A handoff to Fournette, and he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Not a lot of running room there, not a place to make a cut and kind of exit out because they had everything bottled up. Looked to me like the linemen were taking on their blocks really well and giving up no creases.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Now Bernard.
And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
The Bucs on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Now Brady. And a first hookup with his all-pro tight end, Rob Gronkowski. And he is going to have the Buccaneers first down. They needed 3. He doubled that. He got 6. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd.
Well, there it is, partner. Brady to Gronk, their first connection of the game.
You think those two often in sync?
I don't think there's any question about it. And look, we know Gronk has a whole lot of fun, but he's deadly serious about his football, as is Tom Brady. 2 great competitors, 2 fantastic players.
They'll run on first down. Bernard. And across the midfield stripe into Eagle territory. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Working from the gun, it's Brady. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Looking for his all-pro tight end, Rob Gronkowski, and it'll bring up third down.
And that's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties, and he's able to knock that one away.
Already a pair of third down conversions for them on this drive, but right now they need 5 yards on this third down try. Shotgun now for Brady. Looking for Godwin, and he's got him complete. And he is going to have a Bucs first down. He needed 5. He got it barely, as it will officially go down as a gain of 5 yards.
You want to put together a long drive? You've got to be able to convert on third down, and they've done exactly that on this one. Sure enough, came up with another conversion right there.
On first down, Bernard, and he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I'm getting the sense that Fletcher Cox is making offensive linemen want to take the week off when they have to play against him.
It's a regular routine for him, isn't it?
It really is. That play there, that's him all day long. Good luck trying to block him and keep him from disrupting your offense.
Second and 11 now. To throw, it's Brady. He'll check this one off to Fournette. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it could turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Throwing is Brady on third down. And this is going to be incomplete. Fourth down now looming after Philly's defense stands tall in coverage.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
He's got the distance, but it's no good. Wide to the right, and this score will stay right where it is. So it's an empty trip downfield there as they get a missed field goal on fourth down.
And I didn't see anything in the setup. It's a good snap, good hold.
Yep.
He just pushed it, and that one never wanted to come back.
And out now come the Eagles. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense.
Yep.
Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
It'll be Sanders to begin the drive. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 51 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
On first down, Hurts. And this is caught by Watkins. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. Working with 2nd and 5 now. Shotgun snap and then the give to Sanders. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there. Now it'll be third down. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Hurts.
Flushed out right. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. Give him 7 on the tuck and run, and it'll get him a new set of downs.
When they watch film of this game and hand out the grade sheets, he's going to really like getting a double plus on this play. Why? He scrambles and picks up a first down. But what else does he do? Protects himself by sliding and avoiding the big hit. Double plus, big-time play.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Running right, here's Sanders. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Open man is Goddard, the tight end. And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucs 15-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. That was play number 7 on this drive, and it got him 7 yards.
Second down from the 8. They can get a first down by reaching the 5.
I got you. Right there.
Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts.
And this is caught. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
Quez Watkins
There to make the grab. And the Eagles add on to their lead. Elliott now to add the extra point. It's good to make it 17-7. So that drive in total 8 plays. The result, Philadelphia in the end zone. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away.
Jadon Mickens now from his end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. Well, time to get another look at this Buccaneer offense.
And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
Brady now on first down. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. The intended target was Chris Godwin, but it'll be second down.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. To throw is Brady.
They're targeting Godwin once more, this time complete. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. That's good for a Buccaneer first, a pickup of 12 yards. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder, coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will join us from Orlando with our halftime report. But business to take care of before we get there.
A 2-minute drill before the coach's 2-minute drill.
Now left side on the swing pass. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. 3 yards the gain there, second down. Brady. This is caught by Evans. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 22 yards there, a first down.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. But there's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball.
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
Brady now on first down. That's complete to his receiver, Godwin. Looking to throw again on second down. Brady looking for Godwin again, and he's got him once more. And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. Now Brady. Over the middle to Evans. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Good work after the catch. Gets him 15 and a first down.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against him a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. So from inside the 20, here's first and 10 at the 18. Brady now to throw. There's Evans again, complete. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. To throw again on second down. Brady, and that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
That's an excellent play by the defender. He diagnosed that one, closed quickly, and helped force the incompletion.
They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on third down. Now Brady again.
And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete. Steven Nelson able to get a hand in coverage.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
Succop's kick is good. And they're back within a touchdown. It's 17-10.
So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps them inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. Now back to work for Miles Sanders in the Philly offense. He's been effective so far, over the 40-yard mark here in the second quarter. Don't forget about those guys up front, though. They've been effective, too.
The leverage game has been in their favor. They've been the ones who've been able to bend their knees, drop their hips, and get a little bit lower than the guys on the other side of the football, and they've moved them out of the way for the runner.
Sometimes that's tough for those big fellas.
Not an easy thing for them to do.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Hurts.
Steps away to his left. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2.
You ain't gonna burn me.
Here's 2nd and 5 now from the 22. Throwing is Hurts.
Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down.
Everything looked right on that play except the conclusion. He dropped it. An in route, going into a little bit of traffic. Maybe in the back of his mind, he was wondering where the hit was going to come from.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass.
Here's Hurts to throw.
And that's complete to Sanders. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. The Bucs forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. The Eagles send out their punter now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. We'll call that a 49-yard punt with a return of just 2. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Mike Evans and the rest of the offensive unit heading back out there now. He's been good so far to this point in the second quarter. Need to get him even more involved, maybe?
I would agree with that. Definitely. Yeah, it's not even a question for me. The way he's playing, he's doing a nice job. Increase things. More touches, more opportunities. Maybe that can reverse things on the scoreboard for them.
They'll try to ratchet things up then maybe here in the second quarter. Just 18 seconds remain till halftime as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. Nifty running there, but it'll come on what should be the final play of half number 1. So we've come to halftime here in Philly with the Eagles on top. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We saw a strong first half from our quarterback. First up, though, let's take a look at the next-gen stats from the first half for the BUCS. And despite the fact that they're down on the scoreboard, they were able to have some success throwing the football in that opening half. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, they did not have quite the same amount of success in the passing game that their counterparts did, as you get a look at the numbers there.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. One touchdown is the difference. 17-10 our score, and we are back underway on EA Sports. The return is Mickens. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
Here we go.
Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start in the third quarter.
And they're on the short end of the scoreboard here. Charles, what adjustments, if any, do you think they need to make for the second half?
Well, paraphrasing the gold medal hockey winning coach Herb Brooks, I just say you continue to play your game. Throw the ball. They had success doing it in the first half, so make sure you keep getting the ball to your playmakers, a little bit more to the perimeter perhaps, but above all, play your game.
On 1st and 10, here's Brady. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete.
You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. To throw again on second down, Brady. That's caught by the big tight end, O.J. Howard. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
First down catch there by O.J. Howard. Well done, and he's got to be excited because he missed a lot of the fun last year after suffering a torn Achilles back in Week 4. But his head coach, Bruce Arians, says the sky's the limit for him in 2021 after rehabbing in the offseason.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now Leonard Fournette. Not much there, maybe a couple up to the 35.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
2nd and 8 coming up.
Shotgun now for Brady. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Gronkowski the intended target, and that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
Another attempt, another incompletion, and when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points, and the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
Now Brady gets away with one. Lucky, could have been intercepted, but it falls to the ground.
It appears they're going to come up empty on this first drive of the second half, still down by that slim margin.
Yeah, and that's okay. You know, when you sit and analyze it, they're not happy about what happened, having to go to the bench, but this gives them a chance to let their defense do some work while they on the sidelines go over what they're doing offensively and formulate a proper plan. That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that, right?
Yeah, he said the football is roughly a prolate spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up.
They start on the ground here at Sanders. Well, that gives them a little room, but not much. A gain of 2 to the 5.
What are you doing?
That first down play, all you want to do is wedge out any type of space and try and create enough room that if you have to run the punter out there, he can successfully complete the punt.
Yeah, didn't get a ton there, but at least some positive yardage. 2nd down and 8.
Double tight, guys, double tight.
Another run with Sanders. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Hurts sets up to throw it. And that is incomplete.
NFL quarterbacks work so hard on their mechanics, and they do so much repetition and practice, off-season, the whole deal. They expect it to be autopilot once the games start. That way it eliminates any type of pressure of the game, pressure of people in your face, all of that. That didn't shine through on that throw, though, did it?
No. A little bit of a dangerous pass and off target, too. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field. The last couple of drives have ended in punts. Maybe the crowd minds that, but you're a defensive guy. You're okay with a couple of punt drives.
Listen, I'm the guy that loves a 0-0 pitch game. All right, in baseball, I can handle that going into the 7th inning. I think the crowd, though, they want to see a little bit more excitement. Let's see if someone can break something free on offense and get going.
Offense at a premium the last 2 drives. They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Throwing now is Brady. Looking for Evans, and it's intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line.
Well, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Here comes Eagle offense now as they get set to take over here. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. Vita Vea stopped that play in its tracks.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Another run here with Sanders. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line.
68 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
There you go.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Hurts a handoff to Sanders. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Well, let's face it, that's just a helpless feeling for a running back there. He's looking up to find a hole, and all he finds is a whole lot of ticked-off linebacker.
Second and 12.
Now back to throw. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. On 3rd down, they'll run it with Sanders.
And looking for a lane, but none to be found for Sanders as they stop him short of the line to gain.
Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1.
You don't want that?
And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
The kick by Elliott is good. And they double him up here. That makes our score 20-10.
So the turnover leads to points as they add 3 there.
Yeah, what a sequence there and a nice one for them. They forced the interception, put together a little drive, and then come away with 3 points. Nothing to it, partner. Just do it.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away.
Oh, the return is Mickens. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line.
Anytime that ball comes to me,
Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw.
And this is incomplete. Very lucky to get that one back. That nearly picked. It's 2nd down now. Second and 10.
Now Brady.
Again for Evans. This time he's got him.
And he'll be out right at the 35.
9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course, you got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
And he's got a man. It's the tight end Howard complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Couple of nice plays right in a row, and the Bucs have a first down.
Normally on third down and short yardage, you're thinking to throw to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the first down and then some.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 46. Again, it's Brady. And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete. Mike Evans, the one he was looking for. And now it's 2nd down.
They always say that real estate is about location. Well, guess what? When it's a slant route, the quick ones, timing, timing, timing. Got to be able to lead your man with the football.
And the timing off right there, threw it behind him. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Brady, it's complete. He's got Gronk. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 26. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
It's so important to tackle well against these guys, but you and I both know that's easier said than done when the guy you're trying to tackle looks like this guy.
And it's usually going to take more than one man to get him down, and it did right there. Brady now on first down. Gets it to his running back, Bernard. Call it a gain of 5, and it'll be a 2nd down.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
Again, they'll throw with Brady. That is incomplete.
And when you've thrown as many interceptions as he has in this one, you definitely start getting a little hesitant to throw the ball out wide because that's prime pick 6 territory. That time, he made sure the only guy who was going to catch it was sitting in the 3rd row.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Here's Brady to throw. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Javon Hargrave coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th.
I think that time he just maybe held on to it a little too long, CD, because after a couple of seconds in this league, you know those defenders are coming.
And how many times do we talk about complementary football? And we usually talk about, does the offense help the defense? Does the defense help the offense? I think in this case, does the quarterback help out his offensive line? You only have a certain amount of time to get rid of the football. It can only do so much. On this play, he took him to the limits.
And Suckup will put this one right through, and that will tighten this one up a bit. Now a one-score game at 20-13.
So 3 points, maybe not a grand prize at this stage, but it does get them back within one score.
It certainly does because now they stay within shouting distance, so that means everyone on your sideline stays engaged in this game. They know they still have a shot.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away.
And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. Now back to work for Miles Sanders in the Philly offense.
And there are the numbers. Got off to that torrid hot start. We thought he was in for maybe a career day. Not the case.
No doubt about it. It almost looks like a misprint after what we saw in the first half. But let's give a little bit of credit to the guys on our side of the ball. They went in at halftime, made a few adjustments, and you know what else? They didn't lose their confidence in their ability to play. because a lot of times you get beat down in the first half, it gets ugly in the second half. They've come out with a new resolve and a renewed determination.
Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. They'll run on first down. It's Sanders. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
Well, you don't turn your nose up at a gain of 4, do you? They'll take that on first down. Playbook's got to be pretty well open on 2nd and 6.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30.
45, 45.
They'll go again with Sanders. Sanders, a first down, still going. And he'll finally be taken down just shy of midfield. 89 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
On first down, Hurts, incomplete. He was looking for Miles Sanders out of the backfield, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Hurts. Forced out to his left. And he'll slide to a halt here, still a little shy of the first down marker. And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain.
Well, he's proven real effective running the football. No one open, don't force it. Just get what you can, and that's what he's done very well in this game.
Could be 4-down territory even if they don't get this, but they need just a few inches here on 3rd. They'll try and run for it with Sanders. And he will have a first down here at about the 40.
We got this.
There are a lot of different formulas to winning football, but one constant over the years, winning on 3rd down. That pickup there was big because they had struggled throughout this one.
They'll throw on first down with Hurts. Buying time to his left. And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
Partner, it's often the man coverage is easier for a quarterback to run against. You get your receivers going downfield. Those guys are staying with him, and oftentimes they have their back to the quarterback, which opens up a lot of space and room, and they don't even know that he's taken off with it. What a big-time pickup on that play.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. They get this to Smith on the jet sweep. And despite the fancy footwork we saw, they'll get to him just inside the 15. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
On 2nd and 9, Hurts. He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. Shaquille Barrett able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening. That time, finally, a measure of revenge as they get him down behind the line.
It almost felt like relief, didn't it? Because with the success he's had throughout this game, you'd almost expect him to get free and pick up 10 to 15 every time he takes off. Not in that case. That has to feel good for the defense.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. And this is going to be incomplete.
No coverage bust by the defense here. They did a nice job accounting for everybody, and that led to an incompletion.
The kick by Elliott is good. And that will push the lead up to double digits now at 10. A second field goal here this third quarter and his third of the game so far.
He's been an important part of the offense, that's for sure, and they may need him again before this one's said and done. So I would treat him like a pitcher throwing a no-hitter. Leave him alone and let him focus.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. The return is Mickens. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20.
Let's go, baby. Big things today, y'all.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. Brady going to bring the Bucs up with a 1st and 10 at the 20. Brady going to throw. And he finds Gronk. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. Up at the 29 now, they'll head to the line. 2nd and a yard. Here's a give to Fournette. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. But I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Brady. And that one not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out on this third quarter of play. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. It's Buccaneer football, but they've got work to do. They find themselves behind here to start the fourth quarter. Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10. Brady now to throw. He's going to loft it deep right sideline. And Brady going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Darius Slay with a pick. But here in the fourth quarter, defensively, you know that you're just going to blanket the field with defensive backs and saying, okay, take your best shot. And that time, it's intercepted.
And we've often seen teams go into the prevent early, way too early, and sometimes they get too soft in their coverages. But not in this case. They understood the situation and played it with the proper aggression.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. They have to like the position that they are in. Fourth quarter, 2-score lead, and now the ball back after the INT. On 1st and 10, it's Hurts. It's caught. Smith. And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. 1st down.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on 1st and 2nd downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
From the gun, it's Hurts. That'll be caught. It's Rager. And they work this well upfield across the 45. It's another first down as they bite off 23 more on that one.
And that was nice. Jalen Hurts to Jalen Rager. Jalen to Jalen. And the Eagles are hoping to see much more of that. Just 31 catches as a rookie for Rager. They're hoping that that number at least doubles in 2021.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Throwing is Hurts. And his pass incomplete.
But listen, when you've got the lead, there's absolutely no sense trying to fit a ball in where you shouldn't. You can see the coaching in his head taking place on that play because he saw he had a receiver in the area. And he just put it well over his head out of harm's way.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Here's Hurts to throw. Smith catches left side. And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucs 40. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
Partney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go, and let's see who's faster.
And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked up by Levante David. The 30. 10. And it's a pick six. He brings it back to the house for a Buccaneer TD. Well, don't change that channel just yet. This one may have gotten a bit more interesting.
Put down the remote, put down the clicker. This one looked like it was over. It looked like they were ready to seal the deal. But in doing so, by pitching it around a little bit, it cost them. We could have a great finish.
Extra point try now for Succop. And the lead is down to a field goal now. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. Takes it at the 7. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Jalen Hurts in this offense trotting back out. And the stats on the screen tell the story. A great start. This defense, they made some good adjustments, though. He's fallen off since.
Have to like what they did at the half, but you also have to like the fact that they hung in there. Despite the fact they had a tough first half, he was locked in, right? And rocking and rolling. They came out, made their adjustments, got their confidence back. Now they're causing them all sorts of trouble.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And now this fourth quarter becoming very interesting. That pick six makes this a one-score game. Still plenty of time on the clock. We'll see how aggressive they choose to be. Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2. Now Sanders. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. 102 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Now here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That one good for 20 on the catch and run. Well, sometimes it's hard to take your eyes off this guy at the linebacker position. He can really cover some ground, and he did there to make that play.
And you can just see that whole play developing. That's where, as a defender, you just lock in on your target and say, I'm not even thinking about breaking stride. I'm running straight for the belt buckle because where it goes, that's where you find his body. And he was able to get in there and make a great play.
So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10, down at the 31. He'll look to throw.
Hauled in over the middle by Rager.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. He finds his tight end, Goddard. That's complete. A gain of 6 there on first.
Well, that's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
Throwing again on 2nd down.
Hurts. And that one off the mark behind him. Incomplete.
He was looking for Watkins that time, and it's 3rd and 4.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
The Eagles on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 4.
Hurts sets up to throw it.
And he's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. Credit the sack to Vita Vea.
So that time, Charles, quarterback helpless really in the pocket in the face of a pass rush like that. They were on him instantly.
And this came from the interior of the defensive line. And these guys, they're normally anchors of that spot. And they don't often get clear shots at the quarterback. But in this case, he got past the center and the guard in no time and got there to make the play.
The kick by Elliott is good. And that will add 3 more to their lead. It pushes it up to 6. So they get to 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away.
It'll be a touchback. The ball brought out to the 25 as Mickens will not return it.
So out come the BUCS now.
And that last turnover could have proven more costly, but their defense only gave up 3. But now answering with a field goal doesn't do them much on this drive. They need to try and find the end zone. Few better down a score in the fourth quarter than Tom Brady. This is 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he'll get that to Fournette, complete. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Nowhere, baby, nowhere. Let's go. Way to go, D. Way to go, D. Good job. Come on, man.
2nd and 5. To throw, it's Brady. Got a man, it's Brown. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Working from the gun, it's Brady. It's complete. He's got Gronk. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down.
And Brandon, as you know, sometimes it's a lot tougher to run with these tight ends nowadays in the NFL. They're just bigger wide receivers. He lined up on the left side of the formation, ran a drag route across the field, and tried to work his way open. He was able to make the catch, but the defenders were there and couldn't do a whole lot with it afterwards.
Airing this one out for Evans. It's caught inside the 25. And he'll get this inside of Philly's 20 before being taken down.
Well, this is where an offense needs to show what it's made of, and in fact, where a quarterback needs to show what he's made of, trying to engineer a fourth quarter comeback, and he hits a big one right there.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Fakes the give to Fournette. Now Brady. And in for the Buccaneers touchdown. Tom Brady hooking up with Mike Evans there. And the Bucs are now an extra point away from leading this game.
Man, he just ran a terrific route. Extremely hard to defend when it's run that precisely and the ball's delivered that accurately.
Suckup for the extra point. And with that, his guys take the lead here by a point. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for the Bucs. Now Pinion with the kickoff honors following the touchdown. From the 6. And he won't quite make it to the 25.
That's it, baby. Way to take it. Way to take that.
Eagles offense back out getting set for this next drive. And they will be looking to answer the touchdown their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here in the fourth quarter and a chance to regain the lead in a tight one. Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10 at their own 24. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Open right side, complete to Rager. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know
This is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. He's going to drop this down to Sanders. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down. Hurts. Escaping the pressure right. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the 1st down. That one goes for 8 yards.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. They'll set up a throw. It's caught by Sanders. And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. They'll contain him to just 4, 2nd down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ike's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd went to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
Second and 6. He'll drop to throw. Out to the left there and complete to the tight end Goddard. And this is going to lead to another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Bucs' 29-yard line. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
They'll throw on 1st down with Hurts. Being chased out left. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
So many times we talk about having good eye discipline when you're playing defense, making sure your eyes are in the proper place on a given play. Looks like that discipline came to the front there, didn't it? They were able to hold him for a short gain when he took off running.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Hurts. Open man is Goddard, the tight end. That good for 6 as they keep this drive right on rolling.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a 1st down.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And on the catch right side, this is Sanders. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. The Eagle passing game looking good on this drive. It's a 1st down.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
Sanders. He gets this down to the 3. Brought the power run out of the bag, but couldn't do a ton with it. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
Well, the spotlight hit him once already tonight as he got into the end zone. He was trying to make it a double spotlight, wasn't he?
But credit the defense, bottling him up, not letting him get in for the 2nd score there.
Fourth quarter, 2 minutes on the clock in a tight 1-point game. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal. They'll try to run with Sanders. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal.
Partner, you've got about 20 coaches on your payroll, but there's 60,000 of them in the stands. I don't think any of them like that play.
And the later we go, it's starting to sound like 100,000 in here. He'll look to throw. To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete. Jamel Dean right there on the coverage.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about, and you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent, and that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
The kick by Elliott is good. And they have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes. So it's another field goal here. He may need to ice his leg after this one. That's now 5 field goals converted in this game alone.
Yeah, get the trainer. They're going to need this guy. And they've needed every single one of the field goals he's made, too. If they're going to get out of here with a win, I say he gets a game ball.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. Jadon Mickens now from his end zone. And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line. So here's Brady and the Bucs. Down by 2, less than 90 seconds to go. Now their lead is evaporated, but they still have a shot on first down. To throw is Brady. To Evans on the slant. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. Well, they have had no answer for this connection all night long.
Yeah, you just have to think in a 2-minute situation, that's got to be a concentration lapse. You know they're going to go back to him with the game that he's been having.
Back to throw, Brady. A pass underneath for Fournette. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup. They'll contain him to just 4, 2nd down. Clock running, the Bucs try to go quickly and get set. Brady to throw. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Avonte Maddox. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. When you talk about making winning plays, that is a winning play at this stage of the game. To come up with that interception, huge.
I like how you identified that because most people think winning plays are the offense trying to get it done. In this case, nursing a lead, they found a way to make a play on that side of the ball and maybe finish things off.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They'll run with Sanders. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 4th quarter. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now they'll run the option to the short side left. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 ticks remaining on the clock. On third down, they turn to Sanders. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. The Bucs forced to use their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. Hurts down to one knee, and that should just about do it.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
So it's a victory here for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think you'd have to label this an upset. Yes, they were at home, but still an upset. They got the job done.
Yeah, even being at home was not enough for people to think they were going to pull this one off. But give them credit for playing not just a smart football game, but one where they were going to be physical about the whole thing. They put up their fists and said, let's fight, and showed their crowd that they were into this one.
Then that's the thing. The crowd responded. They were really good in this game.
Yeah, they were not going to be pushed around. They were not going to be intimidated. They refused to back down and came away with a victory.